Hi everyone, how's it going today? It's Tatsu. The other day, I had a chance to speak with a few international students living here in Japan. They share some really useful insights about life in Japan, so be sure to stick around till the end. Alright, let's dive into it. Thank you very much for help. What country are you from?
I'm from Italy.
Italy.
I'm from America, and I'm also from America.
Grazie. How long have you been in Japan so far?
I've been in Japan for 2.5 months right now.
I've been in Japan for 7 months. I've also been about 2 months.
Awesome. What made you come to Japan?
I came to Japan to learn about Japanese culture and especially about the Japanese language.
My major is Japanese, and in the future, I want to live here. I'm a world languages major, and so I chose Japanese to study, and I want to become fluent, so that's why I came here. But it's really hard, so I'm kind of regretting my decision to learn Japanese.
How's life in Japan so far?
So far, it's pretty good. I mean, it took a bit of time to like adjust to some things. Usually, it's quite easy to adjust in the end. So I feel like it's quite good. I've managed to make some friends, so it's always good.
This is my first time out of America, so it's been very eye-opening to me. It's very fun to like live by yourself in a foreign country. I think it's a good experience. Yeah, I've had fun. I think the food is really good, and so is the public transportation. So like that's been the best part. I think the price is very good here. Oh yeah, that
true,
as well.
true. Yeah, it's easier for us with money wise. It's way cheaper than where we.
Japan is still cheap more than before. How do you think?
I mean, yeah. I mean, right now because I'm from Italy, but I live in Switzerland. So
Right.
for me, the conversion is really good right now, especially because the yen is going down compared to the franc. So for me, it's a lot easier to live here than in Switzerland.
Yeah, compared to the US dollar, the yen is pretty cheap right now. Food, transportation, it's super convenient and cheap.
I don't think transportation is cheaper though than in America, at least in Minnesota. I think transportation here is actually more expensive, but at least where I'm from it is. But everything else is cheaper. So
That's great.
It's cheaper than Wisconsin than here. we only have buses and they're very expensive.
What was the biggest culture shock going staying in Japan so far?
I think for me, it was the language because I'm used to traveling. When I came to Japan, speaking English was like almost like impossible because depending on where you go, it's really difficult to find people who speak English. Tokyo in general is fine, like the big cities in general is fine, but the more north you go, the south you go, it's difficult to find people who speak English. Communication for me was the biggest culture shock, and also I think the fact that say thank you and sorry for everything.
The biggest culture shock for me was my ability to use humor. American humor and Japanese humor is very different. So I'll say something super sarcastic or dry. My Japanese friends will be like, honey.
I see.
I think the biggest culture shock for me was I found it very hard to make friends in Japan. I'm in Yosakoi. I know a lot of people. I have many like shiriai, like many acquaintances, but it's very hard. There are many steps to becoming close friends with people. In America, I feel as though you can become close friends with someone very fast in like a day. But here you have to wait it out. You have to really like it's harder to become friends with people. So sometimes I feel lonely. I don't really have any good friends, but I mean I've only been here for 2 months. I hope that changes.
At the moment, do you think are Japanese people friendly or not?
No. Here's what I think. I think that they're polite. Especially with David said, they say thank you, sorry very often, but I don't think they are friendly because there's a few people who usually I think people who have studied abroad tend to be friendlier actually, but most people they're very shy. They maybe want to ask like, oh my gosh, like gaikokujin, like where are you from? What's your name? But most people are like they're not so friendly.
I mean, I think at least for men, I think it's easier because many guys come talk to me and ask me where I'm from. They want to talk. They want to exchange something. Because I think for guys, it's a bit easier to like go to someone and maybe talk. But for girls, maybe it's a bit more difficult because I have the impression that guys are like more open. At least for the guys we know, like they're way more open than the girls. They tend to like go to people and talk to them way easier than the girls we know. I mean, I usually just because most of the time like we hang out at school and most of them have work as well, so we don't have.
They're really busy.
Yeah, like most of the guys are busy. So like when we hang out, it's usually on the weekend. We go out. We go like they usually the ones coming to us. For me, I think men are like have an easier time doing that, but it's still like a lot less than what we use like in Europe or in America. I'm sure of it.
I agree. Guys are definitely much more easy to talk to here than girls. I feel like a lot of the girls are really shy. They're more like you have to try really hard to get them to open up.
What's the difference between Japan and Italy?
First, I'd say the fact that people are polite, because in Italy, people are not. Except like some like places like restaurants where people are usually more polite. But except for people are way less polite than here, it's also a lot less clean. It's really dirty. Italy is really dirty, except for like some like actual like monuments, etc. The rest is really dirty. It's not as people may imagine it. It's a nice place to go on vacation or on vacation for some time, but it's not a good place to live in.
How about the United States?
Like he said, Japan is really clean. America, at least where I live in a big city. It's very gross. There's like beer bottles on the side of the road or shattered glass or plastic and trash. People here don't stop to like talk to you. Like you'll see like your coworkers or your classmate and it'll be like, oh, good morning. But like in America, people will like be like, oh, how was your day? Like random strangers, like they'll talk to you more.
Also, in America, I think in like bigger cities, there's definitely more homeless people. I don't think I've seen any homeless people. Very, very, very few. As well, I think Americans are very loud, and so are Italians, super loud. And Japan is like the quietest country. You can be on like a super busy street, and it sounds like, I don't know, the two of us talking. Like it's so quiet. It's very quiet here. And in public transportation, they're on time, and they're so quiet. I feel uncomfortable even talking to my friends because I know that I'm loud, and so I'm like, I feel bad.
Do you have any advice to us non-Japanese people who want to come to Japan?
Learn a bit of the language, because I tried with like an app like Duolingo to learn some Japanese, but it doesn't really help that much. I would say like if you don't know any English at all, for example, don't, because English can help you, especially if you go into big cities. It can really help you because most of the things are like written in English as well. But for people who come from America or from Europe, take some actual classes in Japanese so you can learn how to at least like talk a bit, ask for directions, etc. Because like apps can be good, but you need to spend a lot more time on them, so it can be difficult. So learn a bit of the language, at least to like ask for help.
Aside from language, I feel like online there's a lot of like misconceptions, like top 10 things to not do in Japan. I feel like when you come here, you just need to be respectful of your surroundings. Like if things are quiet, be quieter, and then like just appreciate the culture. Don't worry about like all these hidden invisible rules that people online tell you about, because they're usually not that serious.
I 100% agree with her. Everything that they tell you like about clothing, about like how to act, at the end of the day, if you're a foreigner, you look like a foreigner, then that's all they think, you know. They're not really like judging anything else. I mean, they might be judging you, but it's not because of your clothes or anything. And also I would say if you are hoping to date in Japan as a woman, be very careful. Be very careful, and maybe don't unless like you are absolutely sure. Like, because can I say this? Japanese boys, they will meet you, and within the hour, they're asking to go to a hotel. Be careful, say no, set your standards high, and I'm very serious about that. That's all.
I mean, from what you guys and the others told me, yeah, that's how it seems. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.